right, last but not least, our final speaker, Elizabeth Laskowski from Material Science and Engineering, presenting on measuring smart abilities of copolymers with PDMAEMA.
Have you ever had a frenemy? One of those people who's your best friend in one moment and then suddenly switch and hates you the next? Most people would agree that they want nothing to do with those kinds of people. However, when that love-hate switchability can be applied to polymers, they actually have the potential to be used in some really impactful applications, such as enhanced oil recovery. Hi, my name is Liz Laskowski, and I've studied smart polymers for the past 4 years in the material science department. So first of all, polymers are just long-chain molecules made up of repeating units, a lot like if you took paper clips and strung them together to make a chain. And we look at two different polymers that are joined together in the middle, one end that always likes water and the other end that will switch from loving water to hating water when the temperature or pH around it is increased. And why we care about these smart molecules are because they could be used as smart molecules for applications like enhanced oil recovery, where they can reduce the number of new sites that need to be drilled by recovering more of the oil out of the original sites. So traditional drilling methods leave a lot of oil behind, and what they're trying to do is use water to go down and push more of that oil up out of the ground. But the problem is water and oil hate each other. So they try to get them to like each other more by adding a polymer, which makes the water thicker, and by adding a molecule that has one end that likes the water and another end that likes the oil. And this works great to help them mix, but the problem is when they bring it up out of the ground, it doesn't want to separate. So this is where our frenemy-like smart polymers can help. So we have one end that always likes the water and one end that will switch from loving the water to hating it and instead loving the oil. And this change occurs due to a change in temperature. So in the case of enhanced oil recovery, when it starts above ground, both polymers like the water, it goes down to the warmer environment under the ground where it switches to liking the oil, helps the water and oil mix, brings it back above ground where it cools down, and then the water and oil can separate once again. And the beauty of this is then that water polymer mixture has the potential to be reused again to go back down and keep recovering more of the oil. So these smart polymers can be quite useful. And so in our lab, we synthesize these polymers with varying polymer lengths and different ratios between one block to the other to understand how we can control the switchability by controlling the polymers rather than the environments in which they are used. Because what we have found is that the polymer lengths and the ratios between the two different polymers affects the temperature at which this change occurs. So perhaps one day we could go to a chart, look at what the environment specifications are for the application, and make the appropriately sized polymer efficiently and effectively so that we can make smarter molecules to be used rather than adjusting the environment in which they are used, especially in the case of enhanced oil recovery. Thanks.
Is this currently being used, or is it still under development?
It's under development, but it's being looked at not only at like the undergraduate level, but also at graduate universities as well, because there's a lot of potential for it to be used.
What's the possible percentage gain from an existing well? That is it a 2x or a percentage increase?
Percentage increased? Well, it would be going down after they've already recovered the oil and it stops bringing more up. So this would be going down to recovers whatever's left. So I'm not sure exactly how much is left, but I know that there's still about 80% of the world's oil is still underground. So, okay.
And first place in science and technology goes to Elizabeth Laskowski from Material Science and Engineering. Congratulations.
Great job.
Thanks. Congratulations.
So the winner of our People's Choice Award is Elizabeth Laskowski, Material Science and Engineering. Come on up, back up, Liz. You gotta change your,